Why are you pretending your body forgot mine? Your silence still echoes with my name. We shared skin, now you act like strangers do. I undressed my soul, you just walked away. Don't lie, you still taste me in your dreams. I saw forever in your eyes. You saw a night. My body remembers what your mind pretends to forget. You said stay, then disappeared like smoke. How can you fake amnesia after that kind of intimacy? I bled truth while you played pretend. You held me like a promise, then broke it quietly. The bed still remembers your weight. I was your secret. You were my sacred. My love was a prayer you treated like noise. You kissed me like a goodbye you already planned. If it meant nothing, why does it still hurt? You took my clothes off, but not my memory. You never said goodbye, you just stopped being real. We made love, you made lies. My soul still flinches when I hear your name. Did your hands forget the sins we shared? I gave you access. You gave me absence. Stop acting pure when you've held me unholy. You said I felt like home, then burned me down. You loved me in the dark, denied me in daylight. You forgot me like a deleted text, but I was scripture. My body was not a moment. It was a message. You loved the heat, but feared the fire. I trusted your touch. Now I flinch at the memory. Your goodbye was silent, but screamed inside me. You unzipped me, then zipped your lips. Your love left fingerprints on my grief. You lied with your lips and loved with your hands. I wasn't a mistake. You were just a coward. You worshipped my body, then ghosted my soul. We didn't just sleep together. We collided. If I was nothing, why do you still avoid eye contact? You touched heaven, then acted like hell. You buried me under silence after planting desire. Your absence haunts louder than your presence ever spoke. Don't pretend your hands never wrote poems on me. You took pieces. I'm still stitching myself back. You fed me illusions, then blamed me for dreaming. I wasn't a phase. You were a performance. We weren't a mistake. You just couldn't handle meaning. Your goodbye felt like murder disguised as silence. I gave you vulnerability. You gave me volume 1, then vanished. You devoured me, then called it hunger. You ran from the depth you begged for. You made me feel infinite, then treated me like a glitch. I wasn't a body, I was a galaxy. You kissed like you meant it, lied like you rehearsed it. We didn't just sleep together, we burned time. Your memory tastes like betrayal. You called it just one night. My soul disagrees. You left your ghost in my spine. My silence is louder than your goodbye. I was real. You were rehearsing. You read me like scripture, then tossed the book. My skin still carries your name in scars. We didn't just touch, we time traveled. I gave you forever. You gave me fragments. Don't ask how I'm doing. You know the wreckage. You loved me when no one looked. You erased me like a typo. I was holy. You came to worship, then ran. You used my body to forget your loneliness. You begged for closeness, then ghosted like it meant nothing. You can't fake indifference with that kind of history. You treated my soul like your secret sin. You kissed me like I was yours, then disappeared. If I was a mistake, why does your silence sound like regret? I didn't just let you in, I dismantled my armor. We undressed pain, not just clothes. Your eyes said forever. Your actions said fear. You left fingerprints on places no one else sees. I offered you all of me. You offered pretense. You pretend like we didn't burn. My ashes say otherwise. You acted like I was temporary. I felt eternal. You left me mid-sentence of a story only we knew. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. We made memories you now call mistakes. You tasted heaven and now fear lightning. I gave you fire. You brought water. You don't forget someone you undressed in silence. Your touch healed me, then broke me. I was never casual. You were just careless. You said it was real. Then acted like fiction. I offered depth. You swam, then fled the tide. Your hands made promises your heart couldn't keep. You kissed me like salvation, left like a thief. I still dream in your voice. You weren't a phase, you were a fault line. We didn't fall in love, we shattered into it. My body was a poem. You skimmed the first line. You asked for my secrets, then vanished with them. I wasn't your lesson. You were my warning. We touched the divine, then you ghosted God. I bared everything. You disappeared under daylight. You still live in the place I healed from. You got what you wanted. I lost what I believed in. You left, but your breath is still trapped in my lungs. We shared bodies. You pretend we shared nothing. I let you inside, my home, my heart, my hell. You touched me like art, then discarded the masterpiece. You stripped me, then vanished like I was forgettable. You made love like you meant forever, then acted like we never met. I tasted eternity. You called it a mistake. Your body memorized mine, even if your mind denies it. We weren't casual, we were cosmic. You made me feel worshipped. Now I feel wasted. You made promises through your hands, then disappeared in silence. I still hear your breath in the places you touched. I became sacred in your arms. Then you disappeared like a sinner. You held me like I was everything. Now you treat me like dust. Our souls collided. You act like it was an accident. We didn't sleep together. We broke time. My body is still grieving your silence. You didn't just leave, you erased us. I wasn't a night. I was a turning point. You said I was safe. Then you became the danger. You memorized my breathing, then forgot I existed. You touched my soul and called it a mistake. You turned passion into punishment. I gave you softness. You returned with sharpness. Your silence is the loudest thing I've ever heard. You made my vulnerability your escape plan. You took what was holy and called it casual. You left before I could even close the door behind you. I wasn't your secret. I was your shelter. You lit the match, then blamed me for the fire. We weren't lovers. We were lifetimes colliding. I became a poem. You skimmed the ending. We undressed everything but the truth. Your memory tastes like unfinished business. You ran like you were never here. We didn't make love. We made scars. I wasn't your detour. I was the destination you feared. Your eyes told stories your mouth couldn't lie about. You disappeared, but my skin still knows your name. You broke me without saying a word. You wanted intimacy without aftermath. My body still sings your name in silence. We weren't random. We were written. You reached into me like you belonged there. You buried me under the weight of pretending. You kissed my wounds, then became one. We didn't fall asleep. We fell apart. You touched what was sacred, then walked away like it was sin. My soul still calls for what you ran from. You tasted my truth, then denied the flavor. You don't forget someone you undressed with reverence. You held my face like you'd never let go. We whispered eternity between the sheets. You made me believe I was safe to unravel. You drank from my depth, then said you were drowning. You became a ghost in a body I knew too well. You weren't just in my bed. You were in my bloodstream. You vanished like you had somewhere better than my heart. You made love like a promise. Then you broke it like a habit. You turned passion into punishment. My body remembers what you deny. You kissed me like you meant it, then erased me like you didn't. You were loud in love, quiet in betrayal. You didn't just leave, you disowned the moment. You wrote your name on me with hands, not words. I loved you in silence. You left me in noise. You acted like I was home. Then you moved out. You begged for honesty, then ran from mine. You didn't sleep with me. You slept through me. I gave you forever in a night. You made me feel divine, then treated me like a mistake. You held me like a dream, then woke up cruel. You weren't a phase. You were a prophecy I misread. You asked for my vulnerability, then made me regret it. We didn't just collide, we combusted. You disappeared like I was disposable. You kissed me with purpose, then left with none. You said I was different, then treated me the same. You made me sacred, then left me shattered. You didn't love me, you borrowed me. My silence now says what my body once whispered. You turned warmth into a wound. You haunted my bed before you left it. You loved my light, then cursed my fire. I was your mirror. You didn't like what you saw. We didn't just touch, we time traveled. You used my depth like a distraction. You said forever, but packed for an exit. We became a secret you pretend never happened. You carried my soul in your hands, then dropped it. You held me like you needed me, then vanished like I was nothing. I gave you softness. You returned with silence. You loved me loudly, then unclaimed me quietly. You didn't leave, you erased. You studied my body like scripture, then denied the divine. I gave you my storm. You asked for sunshine. We didn't end. You just abandoned the truth. My love deserved roots. You came with wings. I wasn't casual. I was cosmic. You touched me like a vow, then vanished like a rumor. If this cracked something open in you, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more soul messages.